What's up, y'all? Welcome to What Do We Know? It's Gabe. We got Josh, Ben, Matt, the whole crew, ready to blow your minds. We're talking about retired players today, going through it, giving you our inputs, our opinions. Take it as you will. We're just talking.
But he was still fantastic, dude. When he scored a touchdown for the first time coming back into the league and caught that touchdown on the Raiders, you're like,
yeah.
That was worth it. That was worth it. It was really good to see. It makes me happy.
Is weird.
He just would
so
let that ball
weird.
rip. That's why I was saying his receivers made it look good. The weapons surrounded him made it
The
look
ball
good.
just
He would
floated
let
to
the
him.
ball rip.
He still did great with his career. Like, he still came back from those 3 early injuries, had great seasons in between, coming up until Washington. Like, he changed the
Davis,
game.
man.
R.I.P. Love that man. Not R.I.P. He's not dead, but not gonna be.
He's still texting.
I know, it's recording, Josh.
Josh.
Hi. How are you?
What's up?
Hey.
And we're back.
Welcome.
What's going on, man? Let's get to it, dude.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing today, huh? Viewers and speakers.
Good. I hope everybody's excited for the second episode.
So you already kick things off?
Yeah, man, we'll kick things off, dude.
All right.
Matt has 2 great Dallas Cowboys in the background of his camera, so why don't we talk about a great Dallas Cowboy, man? That's just a fantastic way to kick it off. Dude, getting into retired players this season, how weird is it to see Jason Witten retire in an Oakland, or no, not even an Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders uniform, dude? That man is
Is he
insane.
going to? Surely he'll sign that one-day contract thing, retire at Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I would think Dallas shows him that respect. You don't really want him to get Brett Favre.
Oh, that would suck. That would suck so bad for him, man.
It's gonna be weird, like not having him in the NFL anymore. Like he's been in the NFL since I started watching.
We've already done it once.
Magnificent player. Like,
Yeah.
It was weird having him bald, man. It wasn't really Jason Witten, right? He retired and came back without any hair. That's awkward. But he was still fantastic, dude. When he scored a touchdown for the first time coming back into the league and caught that touchdown on the Raiders, you're like,
Yeah.
that was worth it. That was worth it. It was really good to see. It makes me happy.
nothing was as good as watching him run without his helmet.
Jason Witten is the OG
day.
helmetless football player. Like him and Jeremy Shockey just running people over
Old school.
with old school with no helmet. You
Let's
just take
go.
that hit so hard that helmet goes off, and it's like, fuck it. Here we go. Old school. We're coming in. No helmet. I'm not even worried about it. There's no fear there. I feel like a lot of that has been fading slowly, man. The competitiveness of the game has turned so much more into business, where you don't see players chasing ships so much as you see teams chasing ships and players chasing money.
You're losing
Yeah.
an old school football player, Jason Witten, man. He's been around a long time. And
Dude.
He's not like the flashy tight ends of today's
Not the
football.
most athletic.
But okay, you say that, Gabe. He's really just not the fastest. But if you watch his footwork, that man had an uncanny ability of getting lost in the traffic and wide open.
His technique is perfect, dude. That's what it is. He knows how to get open, and he knows
I've-
exactly where the holes in a defense is.
But I feel like y'all are only remembering him from his old years.
Oh,
like
he can run. He
remember
used to
his
be
younger
fast.
years, the man was an athlete in his younger
Well, that's
years.
what I'm saying.
Well,
he
he was an
he was
athlete
athletic.
compared
He
to the
wasn't
people
fastest one.
around him
he
back
still
then.
has speed.
But
He had some
compared
moves
to the,
there. Watch some
compared
old
to the
Jason
George
Witten.
Kittles and the Travis Kelce's of the world right now. But
I
there's
think-
no offense. Travis Kelce is more of a Jason Witten. So
No. George Kittle, 110% is young Jason Witten. 110%.
he does.
Travis
Jason Witten doesn't have
Kelce
the
is-
speed and the agility that
George Kittle won't when he's in his mid-30s either.
maybe
Well,
so. That's true.
We'll see.
George Kittle's the epitome of an old school tight end, which is Jason
All right.
Witten. Someone big who can block. Jason Witten is
But even
NFL's
watching, go back and watch his younger days highlights, man. It's not like he was burning people down the field. He was just getting lost.
Just
Like,
George
he
Kittle-
was
always
running,
open.
he was making
George-
people turn around, and he was losing them and just sitting in the end zone waving his hands.
But I think that's more his older years because if you watch George Kittle, he's not
He
really
was
burning
both.
people
He was
either.
both.
And it's like, I don't know. I give a lot of respect to it, and I guarantee, like, I agree with y'all. His technique is flawless, man. But the man is a tight end, and he's number 4 in the NFL for receptions. Number 1 in Dallas Cowboys history. The amount of Dallas Cowboys like Hall of Famers that have been on that team,
Yeah.
like you're talking about, he's got more catches than Drew Pearson and Michael Irvin and Des Bryant. Like
What,
the man
one,
is
1,228 receptions for 13,046 yards.
I think he was the fastest player to get 600
So about-
catches too.
How about
In
10 yards a
history.
catch?
10 yards of catches. That's gangster.
Does he have the longest run without a helmet?
Man, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
got to be
I'm pretty
between
sure.
him and it's got to be between him and Jeremy Shockey.
I'm pretty sure it's him, though.
I think it is him.
I think it is him. I would believe that it's him. Like, I think it was headhunting, man. Jason Witten was definitely headhunting. Not that. That was awesome. I wouldn't be surprised at all. It would be a fun stat to look up. Throw it in there later. Since we don't really know everything.
He was amazing
Yeah.
though.
Love that man. Sad to see him go.
Instead of
Another
seeing
tight
go,
end we're
we'll-
losing,
We'll see him again.
Greg Olson.
Dude, so what do you think of Greg Olson, or what do y'all think of Greg Olson? Because we're looking at Jason Witten, who, if any of y'all argue with me that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, we'll get right back into talking about it.
That's
No,
already,
I'm
that's
not
gonna
pretty
do
much
that.
already decided about Witten.
He'll wear
Yeah.
that jacket.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah. First ballot, right out the gate. But
Oh,
Greg
yeah.
Olson, on the other hand, I mean,
I
Is
think
Greg
Greg
Olson
Olson
Hall of
can
Famer?
make it. I think Greg Olson, as much as I would like hate to say this because I feel like he just belonged there, I feel like Greg Olson could have done more at a team other than the Panthers for some reason. I feel like he worked at the Panthers because he's a great tight end, and they were like, yeah, Greg Olson's good, so we're going to throw him the ball 5 times a game. But he could have done a lot more somewhere else. I think he's still going to get to the Hall of Fame, though.
I don't know, Gabe.
I don't know.
I
if
don't
he'll
know
make
that
it.
he'll make the Hall of Fame.
I
And it's not. I loved him. I
think he
love
deserves
Greg
it.
Olson. I loved watching him play, and I wouldn't argue that he doesn't deserve it. I just don't know if he'll make it, just because, the it factor or something wasn't there. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
feel
know. But you got multiple players that didn't have that, so to say, it factor. Like, they weren't showmen, right? But they're still
consistent.
statistically Hall of Famers who, not like Jason Witten, who's a first ballot Hall of
Well,
Famer.
that's what I'm saying. You
But
have
he
Jason Witten
still
right here.
he still makes that Hall of Fame. Not as a first
Yeah.
ballot. Not as a
You have
first ballot.
Jason Witten with 12,000 receiving yards at the end of his career, and Greg Olson with 8,000. It's
How long did he play?
he played from 2007, and Jason Witten played from 2003. So he had
Yeah,
a much
so an
longer career out of
extra
it.
4 years, an extra 1,000 yards.
Also, did Jason
Yeah,
Witten
every
miss
year.
any games when he played?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Jason
think so.
Witten was
He
retired
did, but
for 2
he
years
was
or 1 year.
he played the most consecutive games
Before he
any
came back.
tight end.
1 year. He only retired for 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a mental breakdown and shaved his head and was like, I'm ready for the NFL again, baby.
We're going back. We're getting
Well, it made him more
wild.
aerodynamic. He figured
It was more aerodynamic. He said, I was
He had
fast
to
when
get
I
that,
was
he had
young.
to get that
Yeah.
new speed back.
Trying to get that speed back. Had to cut off some hair and be aerodynamic. Man, back to what you were saying, though, Gabe. I don't understand. Like, I feel like that's almost a discredit to, like, Cam and Ron Rivera, you know?
Well, I
agree with Josh on this one.
I would say it's less of a discredit and more of like, I feel like their backfield kept shifting through running backs and their receiving core was always like moving around and stuff. It's like around
That's
Cam and Ron Rivera and Greg Olson, who Greg Olson was the consistent one throughout it all. That's why I think he deserves that Hall of Fame ballot. they just never had. They could never solidify anything around him for long enough time to allow him to break out.
You're giving him more like the Joe Thomas of the Browns, whereas like you spent 10 years on a team that you were just like the only true thing that stayed consistent on that team.
Yep. That's where I'd put Greg Olsen.
Okay, I kind of feel that.
Cam Newton left and Greg Olsen left too.
Yeah, that's true.
Greg Olsen did better on his second team than Cam Newton did.
Oh man, I mean, this is a position, man. This is such a reason that quarterbacks get so glorified, which I hate that quarterbacks get so glorified. But I mean, you have to walk into an entire new everything, and new players, new team, new coach, and it's not that every position doesn't have to do that, but they're expecting you to walk in and be like, okay, take us to a Super Bowl, instead of, okay, you're a chess piece, bam, now I've got a rook in that spot instead of a pawn, but it's still just a piece. The quarterback has to move the pieces.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's a hefty deal, man.
For a quarterback,
the real hefty deal. Much harder transition for a quarterback. Hefty. Man, but that's I don't know. I feel like that's the same for a linebacker though, and that's one that's like that's another fun one to talk about. That's a big old loss, man.
Depends on the type of linebacker they want or the position that they're going to play. I mean, if you get an edge rusher linebacker like I don't know, Bud Dupree or somebody right now, like
for sure,
you're going to say rush the quarterback, man. I'm a linebacker outside. I want you to rush the quarterback. You get a middle linebacker like Luke Kuechly, Sean Lee, Levante David, or somebody that like commands that field. Then I understand your quarterback comparison there. They got a lot more responsibility than go get that guy with the football.
Yeah.
That's Bobby Wagner right now, man. That's Bobby Wagner is it, but that's that.
Man.
Talking about retired players.
Yeah, that's what I'm going
Bobby
to.
Wagner.
Yeah, we still got Bobby Wagner, but one of those field generals that's retired is Thomas Davis, man.
R.I.P. Love that man. Not R.I.P. He's not dead, but you know, not gonna.
He's not playing football anymore. He's dead to me.
I do hate that he retired at Washington and not Carolina, because that's
he is signing a one-day contract with Carolina. They're retired.
Yeah, that's gonna be just like a Jason Witten thing.
There's no way Carolina lets that man just slip through the cracks and not appreciate him. I mean, Luke Kuechly, incredible. But I think that Luke Kuechly was so incredible because he had that natural sixth sense about playing football. And when he showed to that team, he had a mentor like Thomas Davis there already to be like, hey, kid, you're going to be something great.
Well, and just pairing Luke Kuechly with Thomas Davis, when you have that football mind like Luke Kuechly, and then that smash mouth predator,
that drive of Thomas Davis.
Exactly, Gabe.
He's just a hard work
where he and Luke Kuechly can team up and become one tandem working machine.
Dude, that man had so much fight.
Yeah,
so much fight. I mean, like,
he came back from 3 torn ACLs throughout.
Yeah, it reminded me of Ray Lewis, man.
Yeah,
he really did. It reminded me of Ray Lewis.
He was one of Ray Lewis's favorite players to watch.
Really?
Fun fact right there. One of Ray Lewis's favorite players.
That's crazy.
He reminded me of him, dude. The guy had so much grit, so much heart, so much like tenacity, like
Well, no, the impressive stat is what Matt just said. He tore his ACL 3 times. Between 2009 and 2011, he only played 2 games. And since then, before Washington, because he was like a filler piece in Washington, he had only missed
he was just some maturity for the defense.
Only missed 6 games before he got to Washington after 2011.
After 3 torn ACLs.
Talk about a bounce back right there.
People don't do that. That's not like.
No, we've already talked about that. Like we've talked about how we're like
helmet anymore.
Yeah, that's these old school players, man. Like I don't know if there's a whole lot of old school era left in the NFL for us to really see. As these players retire, we're watching what we grew up on weed out and seeing what the next generation is going to grow up on. And it's like really cool, to be honest, but sad.
Have y'all ever listened to Thomas Davis tell the story about when he jumps up and swats the football and dislocated his finger? And he said for like the whole next play, he's pulling on his finger, and it won't go back into place. And he played another play trying to get his finger to go back in place and couldn't get it to go back in place. So they finally went to the sideline, pulled his glove off, and the bone had come out the bottom of his finger.
Oh, dude.
Yes,
yes. Through the skin, and he just kept playing, trying to pop it back in.
What's wrong with this shit? Come on.
It's not popping back. My bone's just supposed to reconnect. Like, come on.
Doesn't work that way.
God damn it, Gabe. I could just picture him like, I don't think it was through the skin. He pulled it to try and pop it back, and when it didn't go into place, he just pushed it.
That's when he was like, I'm gonna go to the sideline.
He's like,
man, he broke his forearm too, huh? I mean, the man's been riddled with injuries, and to still have the career he had, that's incredible.
He's a man.
Tough son of a bitch right there, man.
But is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I think he's gonna get overshadowed a little bit.
He gets overshadowed. But what were you saying, Matt? Were you someone what?
Nothing.
I think he gets overshadowed because of what Gabe said about Greg Olsen earlier. I don't really think it's his fault that he gets overshadowed. I just think it's kind of Carolina's fault, but there's nothing Carolina
can do. Playoff accolades, like.
I don't know if he's a first ballot, but he's definitely in there.
Or is he not a first ballot because he was riddled with injuries?
No, because he still
everything we just talked about.
He still did great with his career. He still came back from those 3 early injuries, had great seasons in between. Up until Washington, he changed the game on the Panthers defense.
Yeah, he's one of the few players in history that aren't going to let those injuries affect his career.
That's true.
He's definitely in.
I think he's in.
Might get passed.
He's a nominee for sure.
I don't know if he's a first ballot, man, because I feel like to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, you have to be an NFL game changer and not a team game changer. You have to be best of the best. Jason Witten came in and just took over the Cowboys. I lead the team in receptions now in my career. Not only that, I'm a tight end, and I'm number 4 on the reception list in a career. That's the best of the best. Thomas Davis doesn't have those best of the best numbers. He has the Panthers' best of the best numbers.
Right.
And I think that's a big difference. It's a big deal. I say, if the Panthers were winning Super Bowls under him running that defense like Ray Lewis did with the Ravens, then he's the first ballot. But because they weren't winning those Super Bowls, he gets passed over, man. And that's
1,151 tackles, 29 sacks, and 13 interceptions in his career.
Stats guy coming in. Let's go.
That's me.
Ben's like, I have 2 laptops.
No, I have 1 laptop and a desktop.
Hey, that's how you do it.
Spending.
Yeah.
No. We went over this in the first episode. I'm the oldest. I just collected stuff on.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the oldest. Got this.
We got a quarterback here that I'm pretty intrigued to hear all the opinions about. My man, Philip Rivers.
Discussion.
Bro, if anything, Philip Rivers gets put into the Hall of Fame for making children. Maybe not the NFL's Hall of Fame, but making children Hall of Fame, he's in that. He's in it, man.
First ballot there.
This is a first ballot dad Hall of Famer.
Philip Rivers is one of those quarterbacks that you looked at throughout his entire career, and you're like, man, you're very average. But wait. You're still winning and starting for the same team for years and years and years. I don't know how. They could definitely find someone better.
He makes it to the playoffs all the time.
Yeah,
right.
But
all the time.
You were.
So I I was watching Philip Rivers highlights this morning, and I'm sitting here watching, going, I've never been a fan of Philip Rivers. Never really cared for him. I mean, as a person, I love him.
He's got a weird.
When they mic him up, it's the best thing ever. I love when they mic up Philip Rivers. Is
it the best thing ever, or is it like
kind of?
I kind of want to slap you. Yeah. What Gabe
right.
Like I kind of want to slap you, man, but I'm laughing because I'm not the guy you're talking to.
Yeah, if I was on that field with you, I would be looking at you like, dude.
65 yards.
But I'm sitting here watching his highlights, and I'm like, Gabe, wow, you are incredibly average. And I'm sitting here, and I cannot decide.
Did you just call me average?
No, you called him average, and I'm like,
you're average, Ben. Shit.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
I'm
with your laptop and your desktop.
Philip Rivers is incredibly average. Hey, Josh, at least you're not on your phone this episode. So,
yeah.
But I can't decide if his receivers were making him look really good, or if he was just making his receivers look good. Because with Keenan Allen, with the exception, he's
my God, no! Would you like to talk about the amount of weapons he's had around him his entire life?
Floyd, Gates, he's been surrounded, which is why
surrounded, dude.
Said,
LaDainian Tomlinson, Chris Chambers, like
Melvin Ingram.
The dude has had weapons all the time.
Melvin Gordon, he had Ingram across from him, but in practice, anyways. That's my point to Gabe. I'm like, that's probably why he never got cut. They never replaced their quarterback. They didn't need to.
Bro.
But one thing I will give Philip Rivers
is he never won a Super Bowl.
A gun, dude. He almost hit the top of the stadium with half of his passes.
His animation is weird.
He just would let that ball rip. That's why I was saying his receivers made him look good. The weapons surrounded him made him look good. He would let the ball rip.
If Philip Rivers could throw the line on a rope, if he could throw the ball on a rope, he would be able to throw the whole football field, 100 yards of it. Because I've never seen anybody throw the ball so high and still so far. Like the ball goes 70 yards up and 70 yards long. Yeah, it looks like a punt, man. But if he would just throw it like this, it would go 110 yards, I swear. I know it would. Instead of this.
What year was it on Madden where we realized that he actually threw the ball like that on the game?
Yeah, he does throw it on the game. His mechanic, there's a Philip Rivers QB style mechanic, just like there's a Michael Vick and a Peyton Manning.
You play with him in the Cowboy Stadium, and he's like going through the big screen TV.
It's so funny, man.
Kind of floats through the graphic.
But the dude really has, he has put up numbers. He went to the playoffs consistently. Kind of like what Gabe said, though. Really, is it worth it if he never won a championship? Not even a Super Bowl. Yeah. He never won a championship. Did he ever even make it to an AFC championship?
He was too average. It's hard to find somebody better than him unless you draft him or pick up a big name out of free agency, because he got you to the championship, but he could never win it. And he's too average.
Yeah. Like Andy Dalton without the injuries. It's like, man, what's your secret here all the way up until the playoffs? But the man had LaDainian Tomlinson, Mike Tolbert, Jacob Hester, Darren Sproles, Michael Turner. The weapons surrounding this dude his whole life have been nuts, man. Excluding Jacob Hester. But Tolbert is a running back, and I don't care what anyone says. He might be 300 pounds, but he's a runner. He's a great fullback.
You tried to a 300-pound running back.
Tolbert can move. I remember me and Matt were watching the Panthers game one time, and they ran a screen. We ran a screen, and Matt's like, dude, look at that offensive lineman getting it. That offensive lineman is getting out in front of that screen. So he's going to take out a safety. And I'm just like, that's Mike Tolbert, Matt. And he's like, oh, my God. I was like, that's a large man. Chris Collinsworth said that. It's just a picture of Mike Tolbert in the backfield like this. The camera spins around. He goes, wow, that's a large man. Mike Tolman was such an animal, dude. Like when they did the Pro Bowl and played players on players, and he ran Luke Kuechly over, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. The man is credit, and Philip Rivers.
Philip Rivers
is a Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Fame. I say Hall of Fame, and I say Hall of Fame because his teammates put him in it.
I think we see him in there. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but I think he makes it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Oh, so Matt says.
I agree with that.
Matt says that the NFL says yes, but the people say no. Huh. Huh.
Recurring theme.
Yeah. Huh. That is.
Well, let's think about this, because I think Matt's right. When you think about the Chargers fan base, what it was compared to what it is this year and what it's starting to look like.
Did they even like Philip Rivers?
That's what I'm saying. Suddenly, this year, the Chargers were a fun team. To pull for. You know.
Well, it's I go back to the average thing. It's like every year they're like, okay, this man brought us to the playoffs last year, so like, do we like him? Let's see. You make the playoffs again and don't win, but you're like, we made the playoffs again.
It's crushing hope. He's just a hope crusher.
Yeah.
I will ruin your dreams. That's what it is.
He did it with the Colts.
Yeah, he did. He did
it on with the Bengals.
It's ended on with the Bengals. Now,
you're only going to get to the playoffs.
On what Ben, what you were saying though is like, you're like, yeah, the Chargers were fun to root for, but were they fun to?
It's only because he was a rookie. He's gonna have to win some games to keep that energy up.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, at least with Rivers, they were getting to the playoffs.
He got a free pass this year, but he's fun and exciting to watch. They were an exciting team to watch play. You know, because he was out there doing some stuff.
Right, but
Rivers, like Gabe said, they were winning games, but it's just because he was rainbowing the ball across the field.
Right.
And receivers are catching it.
Okay, but as a Chargers fan base, do you rather win games or be excited to watch someone lose them?
That's what I'm saying. They were winning games, and the Chargers fan base still hated them. The Chargers had no fan base.
The Chargers still don't really have much of a fan base.
But
I'm a fan of the Chargers.
But Melvin Gordon said it because he goes to Denver and to the COVID season with no fans, and they're like, "What's it gonna be like playing with no fans?" He goes, "We didn't have any when I was on the Chargers." And I'm like,
that's
cold.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I see the tables turning right here with Justin Herbert, because people were excited to watch him play, even though they weren't winning. But if they click and they get it going and stuff, they're becoming a more exciting team.
Yeah, if they start winning games,
it's like
awesome.
Who cared about the Browns, 5 years ago?
I mean, wait, 5 years
I cared
ago.
about them more
I was gonna say
than I do now.
Yeah, it's because you don't like Baker, man. I'm a Baker boy. Like, let's go.
Well,
Baker.
3 years ago he got drafted. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 3 years.
And who was their quarterback before?
DeShone Kaiser.
He was for like 6 games.
Right.
They switched through like 5 QBs.
They had Robert Griffin. They had RG3. No.
I'm pretty sure they had Brad Boyer.
They switched through an insane amount of quarterbacks until they got to Baker, Ben. Like, we're not even going to count that. That's why when you said 5 years, I was like, man, was it Johnny Manziel 5 years ago?
Right. That's
and
what
I was
saying.
Like,
the Browns over the past however many years, everyone's just been like, whatever. I don't even want to watch them. And then, like, they finally get their quarterback. They got these electric running backs, and now we want to see this good smash mouth football game.
I don't know.
The only difference with the Chargers is they stayed with that same quarterback that no one wanted to watch for years and years and years and years, even though he was winning games.
Yeah.
But you still wanted to watch them because of the running backs that they had on the team. It was cool.
I don't understand because Philip Rivers.
Oh, great.
I guess if he's mic'd up, he's fun to watch. But watching Philip Rivers play is fun to watch the defense's expressions.
Dude.
Their reactions.
No, yeah, I was gonna say I would hit that dude so hard. I would.
All right.
I wonder if that's part of the strategy.
Enough about Phillip Rivers. We got twins.
We got twins. The Pouncey brothers.
Pouncey. Both centers. Both studs. The Chargers and the Steelers. Mike and Marcus. All right. What are we feeling?
Marquise. Yeah?
Marquise, yeah.
Marquise
Pouncey.
Marquise
Pouncey, first round Hall of Famer.
Marquise Pouncey is a first ballot Hall of Famer just because he beat the crap out of Myles Garrett. And let me tell you, I don't even really care about the Myles Garrett situation, but you're a real man if you can beat the crap out of Myles Garrett.
That is true. He's a superhuman.
That's very true.
Hey, did you all see his box jump? His 64-inch box jump?
Which one, Marquise or Myles Garrett?
Myles Garrett. No, Marquise. Give me a break. Anyway, no, like 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Shade on the man.
Yeah,
he's
well,
an offensive lineman.
Imagine.
He's watching.
Wait, but
I hope he
this is my
sends you a
favorite.
video.
I loved it.
Of him
I hope he
doing
sends
a
you a
box
video
jump.
of him doing it. Yeah, I also.
Hey, if Marquise is watching, I want to see your box jump. Send it to our channel.
If nothing less,
Put it
if
in
nothing
the
less,
comments.
if nothing less, I want to see a video of him watching Myles Garrett do the box jump, and then him looking at the camera and being like, "I beat the shit out of that dude."
So Myles Garrett does this 64-inch box jump, and Myles Garrett is a big man, and this box jump is
he's superhuman.
Well, he just stands here and he jumps up and lands on top of this 64-inch box jump. Dude, days later, DeMarcus Ware releases a 68-inch box jump. Yeah, I see that jersey behind you.
Well, Marcus Ware, we were talking about
Here's
looking at
the
Thompson.
difference. Here is the difference. DeMarcus Ware took a running start.
Yeah, well, DeMarcus Ware is also 40.
Hey, that dude still got it for 40.
Look, Joe Thomas.
Play football again.
Joe Thomas said that Myles Garrett reminded him of DeMarcus Ware more than anybody. He said when it came to blocking him in practice, he felt like he was blocking DeMarcus Ware when they had to play the Cowboys. And that is a compliment and a half from Joe Thomas to both of those men.
Yeah.
Because that's the greatest offensive lineman that's just ever played.
Ever played the game.
Ever.
But Pouncey.
Poor guy.
I was going to say, so we get back to Pouncey.
So how high did we say they could jump?
I mean, how high did we say they could jump?
They could jump higher than any four of us, I bet.
Yeah,
That's
probably
facts.
so.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that's
agree with
very
that.
true.
They are NFL athletes.
Marquise is a first ballot Hall of Famer, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
How many?
I agree.
He was an
Pouncey's
all-decade
just-
team,
he beat
9-time
Yeah.
Pro Bowler. Like,
Yeah, he's incredible. And what this
insane.
have the Steelers won 2 Super Bowls with him or just one?
Ooh, that I don't know.
I'm trying to remember right now.
That's the computer guy.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. Has Big
So,
Ben
stat
won
guy,
2
stat
Super
guy.
Bowls?
Rico Suava.
Big Ben or Pouncey?
I mean, it would be they beat the Cardinals and the Packers, right?
I remember them beating the Cardinals.
I don't know.
I know they beat the Cardinals. They beat the Cardinals in
I
like
was pulling for the Cardinals.
I was gonna say it
God, that was
really
a great
depends.
Game.
One of the best Super Bowls ever, man. It really just depends on like who you were pulling for, whether you're heart crushed or mind blown. Because
I just enjoyed it.
yeah, it was fantastic, dude. It's just Kurt Warner was on his way out, and to be honest, Larry Fitzgerald still hasn't had his Super Bowl, and I already talked about that. I want that man to chase a ship. He needs a ring.
I love Larry Fitzgerald.
Dude, go to the Bucks. Go play with the Bucks and Evans.
That's
and
what I
Brady
said.
and
I
like,
said
why
he should
not?
go to the Bucks.
Why not?
But I mean, he could also stick it out on the Cardinals, and
Throwing the
if
ball
not a
to
thing
Larry.
going, he might be good. Dude, that's terrifying, isn't it?
Yes.
That is terrifying. Ben is in hardcore concentration right now. This dude is
Hey,
like,
his vertical
I
jump is
forgot how
26
to-
inches,
I forgot how to read.
so I can't jump higher
Marquise?
than him.
Huh?
First
Marquise,
guy to Hall of
Ben,
Fame.
Ben is calling you out. So
Mhm.
I think y'all should do more than just box jump competition. Let's get a whole ass UFC fight.
Bull in the ring. Bull in the ring. I
Yeah, that's
feel like
cool.
that's the best option.
I
think
only said I
Mar-
could jump.
Marquise. Marquise. Okay, well then, how about this? We put him in the middle for bull in the ring, and you try and jump over him. and we'll see how that goes.
No, I think we put Ben in the middle.
I didn't say I could jump 6 foot.
Let Marquise try and jump over Ben.
No. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm fine with that too. Yeah.
I mean, Marquise and Mike.
We get Marquise.
That way Ben doesn't know who's coming.
Yeah, they just both go at the same time.
Yeah, but if either one of them lands on me, I'm going to
them.
find a new guy for the podcast.
Dude, did
jump
they
over them, Ben?
Did they really retire at the same time, Matt?
Dude,
like
they're twins.
Really did.
Yeah.
Twins retired at the same time. That is so cool, man.
No, actually, Marquise retired 1 minute after Mike.
And he's the first round, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. What do y'all think about Mike Pouncey? Does he even make it to the Hall of Fame, or did just being on the Dolphins and the Chargers and everywhere he was just really tank him?
It's the injuries that might have tanked him, man. I mean, he was still, 4-time Pro Bowler with 166 games out of 10 years?
I have mad respect for both of those guys.
So he injury riddled. I mean, like riddled with injuries throughout his career, but still the seasons that he had some seasons, you know?
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I don't know if he makes it. If he does, he's definitely not first ballot.
No, he's not a first.
Put him in.
I would like to see him there. I would like
Maybe Marquise will say, I'm not going to get inducted unless you induct my twin as well. And we both go up there at the same time.
And just put his head on my head, kind of like poking off to his side, you know?
If I was Mike Pouncey, if I was Mike Pouncey, I would stand in Cankton right next to my head, right? Which isn't mine. It's my twin brother's head, and I'd sign autographs and just collect. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'll give you an autograph. That's cool. Here you go, $10.
Yeah. They get home and they're like, "Why does this say Mike?"
Stand there. This is me.
Did the Steelers win the Super
This is
Bowl?
me.
Bandu, I think we're
You're the one. Yeah, you're the one that's on the laptop right now, man. You have 2 desktops, Ben.
You're the stat guy.
Stat
I
guy.
don't think Marcus has ever won a Super Bowl.
With the Steelers, really?
Really?
No way, bro. Hey man.
Been there since 2010.
Where was he at before that? Was he at the Dolphins before that?
No, he Steelers his whole career, correct?
Yeah, his whole career was with the Steelers.
Dude, have the Steelers really not won a Super Bowl since before 2010? That's when the Saints won.
Yeah.
9 or 10, yeah. Oh, yeah, ever since that happened, that kicked off the Tom Brady era after that, man. It was just Patriots, 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 Patriots,
Over
Patriots,
and over
Patriots,
again.
Patriots, Bucks!
Bucks.
Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks. That man's going for 3. He wants 10 Super Bowls before he retires, dude.
All right, so one guy I've been waiting to talk about a little bit, because Antoine Bethea.
Steelers won in 2009.
Wow, the year before.
The year before him.
Beat the Cardinals the year before him in 2009.
Okay, he's not a first round. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer anymore, in my opinion.
That's what happened. Is I looked it up, and that's the article I saw. Is exactly what you said. Is Pouncey would need a Super Bowl win to
he's not a first. He's not a first ballot, man. Damn, that's really upsetting.
But I put him in there anyway.
He's 100. Oh yeah, he's in
there.
the Hall of Fame, man.
He's a beast.
He's definitely a Hall of Famer.
All right.
Blues.
Recording.
Hello.
Hi.
So, Antoine Bethea
Is very retiring. You.
Yeah. That's a guy that's rolling out as a Giant.
Bro, that's the weirdest thing ever. Does he? Yeah, as a Giant, dog.
And he played well at the Giants, and he was there for a couple of years, huh?
It's so strange to think about that, though. Does his career retire as a Giant? Is he labeled as a Giant, or is he labeled as an Indianapolis Colt?
I don't know, man. Because his career started at the Colts, and that's where he built it. You know,
and he won a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl with the Colts.
He was on the Cardinals for a while too, though.
He was on the Cardinals, yeah. That's where he went. He's been between the Colts, the Cardinals, and the Giants. I think that's it. After that Super Bowl with the Colts, and then what was it? Bob Sanders' retirement kind of kicked him off. So like the Super Bowl he wasn't even starting.
Yeah.
He was a young player on the Colts when he won the Super Bowl. And when Bob Sanders had to retire because of knee injuries, he kind of stepped into that role and was he really stepped into that role very well. But then after that, how big of an impact player has he really been?
I think he reached his peak kind of early in his career, but stayed at that level and has played very well through it. I don't think he retires as a Colt strictly because I feel like he was as impactful to the other teams he went to afterwards as he was. It wasn't like I'm old.
I do think he was
this team. It was like I've got some more to do, and this team needs me paying more money.
I'm with you, Gabe. I don't think he retires as a Colt, but I think he'll always be remembered as a Colt.
Yeah, I agree with
that. Well, he was very impactful for the Cardinals. He really was, and he wasn't there for long, but he got them through that.
He got them such a rebuilding stage with him.
He got them through that era of getting Tyrann Mathieu up to speed, and then leaving from there for Tyrann Mathieu to have Budda Baker in the position that Budda Baker's in now. And so he's only spent the last couple of years on the Giants, but as far as being an experienced veteran player, not so much a game changer, he definitely was impactful for the Cardinals. He was a little bit more of a game changer for the Colts than he was anyone else.
I agree. He was I feel like he was more on the Cardinals like that player for people to look up to as they were developing. Yeah. And on the Colts, he was the opposite. He started out looking at Bob Sanders, being like, I'm filling this spot.
What a legend.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm coming in to make plays, not I'm coming in to mentor like he was.
Right. He wasn't looking to be on his way out.
Right.
And that's a big difference of mentality, man. I don't know. I'm an Antoine Bethea fan, but I don't see really anything.
I've always enjoyed watching him.
Definitely, he's not a Hall of Famer, and he's not really a retired player as a big name for any team that doesn't make the Hall of Famer. He's just a respected player that played in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the way
he'll be very memorable. Like, I think he'll be talked about, but I don't think he'll ever make it into the canteen,
I think he'll be talked about as a Colts player.
Right.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
For the Colts, he will be remembered by the way he played for the Colts.
I don't know, man.
A Colt because he's not a Hall of Fame player.
See, I just feel like most of the people that are fans of him, the reason I agree with Ben is that most people who are fans of him are Colts fans because they watched him start there. They were like, this guy is good. And he was like our guy. We raised him.
I see where y'all coming from.
You're not going to have all these Cardinals fans and Giants fans going, remember Antoine?
I watched this man grow.
Yeah, I was going to say, because honestly, it sounds really, ugly. But, I was like, man, I don't even really know if he's going to be remembered by anyone that isn't a hardcore fan like we are of just the sport in general.
Yeah.
But I could see that. Maybe Colts fans would see it because he was the baby. We turned him into what he is.
Yeah.
We turned him into what he became.
Right.
He didn't become that with somebody else, and then we.
It's like you said with the helmet catch.
David Tyree, man.
Tyree. People don't know who that was.
No, they don't.
Right.
Giants fans.
And that's how it's. Right. Well,
Giants fans know who that is.
Colts fans are gonna know who Antoine Bethea.
David Tyree is a superstar in New York. I would never leave New York. I'd just walk around
Super Bowl.
I would walk around the streets with a football on my head like this. I'd be
that's like that guy on the Saints who recovered the onside kick. That dude. Well, I don't know his name.
I know that guy, but I don't remember his name right now.
Hardcore Saints fans know that guy.
His name is Chris Reese.
Yeah, Chris Reese.
Chris Reese, yeah.
I've met Chris Reese, man.
Me too.
I've met Chris Reese. Yeah, dude.
When I was managing that restaurant, he used to eat there all the time.
Yeah. Chris Reese is awesome, dude.
With him. He's a great guy.
Far as because it's very much like what Gabe just said. Chris Reese, as far as being in New Orleans, man, as far as being Chris Reese is a superstar out there because Nobody knows who he is, but he won them a Super Bowl. Tracy Porter won them a Super Bowl, but Chris Reese won them a Super Bowl. That was just the wildest move, one of the wildest moves in Super Bowl history, and he did it. And he was just this nobody. But to New Orleans, he's somebody. He's awesome. Everybody knows who to cover that.
Well, speaking of then going out being remembered by like teams and Colts, even. What about David? I can't pronounce his last name. David
Anthony
Costanzo.
Anthony.
You said David. Yeah. I heard David. I was like,
Anthony.
I was like,
you're gonna have to.
Anthony.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give me. I was like, you're gonna have to give me more than David for me to know.
No, Anthony Costanzo.
Through my head, Gabe got.
Yeah.
Anthony Costanzo.
That's a Colt that's retired.
Some of the best hair in the NFL. That's what I got to say.
Right behind Clay Matthews.
Right behind Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews had fantastic hair, yeah, but Anthony.
Jason Witten had it going on. That's all I'm saying.
Before or after his retirement, man?
Definitely after. Do you see what I'm rocking? Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
The man looked like a stud with the shaved head.
AJ Hawk did have a flow, but I don't know. I don't feel like you see a whole lot of offensive linemen that are just like rocking the locks. Like
David
Anthony
Bakhtiari.
Yeah, Bakhtiari too. He's got some hair.
Had himself a little flow.
But his is not, not as pretty as Costanzo's.
I agree. I do want to touch Anthony Costanzo's hair. It looks like it'd feel very nice.
He's a stud, man. If you play left tackle on the same team for 10 years, you're a stud. You're a stud.
Left tackle is a tough position to keep on the O-line.
Yeah, so. Whether Anthony Costanzo becomes a Hall of Famer or not, he's a stud because he played left tackle with that team and was good enough to never get replaced for the amount of years that he did it. He's a stud.
But as an offensive line, is he going to be remembered by the team, whether he makes Hall of Fame or not?
Hell yeah, he's going to be remembered
by the team, the fans.
Yeah, he is.
will be remembered by Indianapolis fans.
Tyron Smith will be remembered by Cowboys fans, of course.
When
that's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Well, if he keeps up what he's doing, yeah.
Yeah, in recent years, I'm like,
that's true. He's fallen. He's fallen down.
He's fallen, and it's due to injuries.
So you saying he's a Hall of Famer because he's
Costanzo is more of a Hall of Famer than Smith.
Yeah.
Costanzo is more of a Hall of Famer than Smith is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't put either of them in there.
I don't put either of them in there, but Costanzo is definitely a stud, and he's definitely a memorable Colt. He's in the Colts Hall of Fame, in my opinion, because...
Well, Tyron Smith will be in the Cowboys Hall of Fame.
Right. I mean, you always remember it. Tyron Smith is second-generation Great Wall of Dallas.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said earlier.
So you remember him.
They came in and they changed that team, but they didn't come in and they didn't change football. They didn't change the league.
Costanzo didn't change the Colts team is what I'm getting to, but the fact that he was one of the only consistencies on that offensive line that actually protected Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, which are two of the best quarterbacks the Colts organization has ever seen.
Yeah.
And he was there through all of that. And then
Carson Wentz.
We're not going to get into that though. In fact, maybe it's okay that Costanzo, maybe it's okay he's not there to protect Wentz.
No.
That's going to work out in the Colts' favor.
Well,
all right, back to retiring.
If he isn't, I was going to say, yeah.
Not that Wentz shouldn't retire.
Well, if Wentz
plays a couple more years,
Wentz, the Colts give up a second round, but if he plays 75% of the snaps that season, the Colts give up a first round. So
I'd sit him for a couple games.
Yeah, they don't have Costanzo, so maybe his blind eye gets closed up.
Hey, he normally gets injured within the first 3 games for like half the season, Josh. So.
It's true. It's true. If they make the playoffs, he won't play the rest of that, the postseason.
And as long as they don't think like the Eagles, they're going to pull him after 2 games anyway. So I would
give him a lot of heat, but I am curious to see what happens.
I want to see what Frank Wright does because you know that Frank Wright, he sold his soul to get that trade.
Oh, yeah. No, he was on his knees.
He got down on his knees in front of Matt Ballard and was like, please give me my QB back.
And I
That's
will make
the only-
something of him.
Yeah. Well, he did make something of him in Philly, and then he left, and then yeah.
All he
Doug
needs
Patterson
to do
Wentz
now,
tried to
nothing
make
of
all he needs to
him.
do is pick up Nick Foles for y'all for the backup. You know,
Bro, what Indianapolis could win a Super Bowl if they picked up Nick Foles? That'd be great. I'm on board with that, man. Let's go. Let's pick up Indy can pick up Nick Foles and and beat the Buccaneers on a quarterback trick play.
You know what? That would be the coolest thing in the
It
world.
would be the coolest thing in the world, man.
See Nick Foles beat Tom Brady again and have both of them in different uniforms. That'd be pretty sick. I would love to see that.
I would pay.
All
They
right,
could put that Super Bowl on pay-per-view, and I would pay for it.
we got
I
one
would
more
watch
to
that
talk
Super Bowl.
about. Because
We got one more to
apparently-
talk about. It better be
apparently-
Anthony Sherman.
Okay, we can hit on Anthony Sherman too, but apparently he just announced it officially. After 20 years as a player in the NFL, 15 years as a Saint, it's time to retire from the game of football.
Did he just now announce it officially? Whoa! Oh, he did.
He did.
March
As we record.
14th.
How about it? We own it.
Let's get it, dude.
Drew Brees
Wow.
is retiring from the NFL.
Good for him.
I'm glad. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm very
I
glad.
mean, first ballot Hall of Fame. Of course.
First ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, and we talk about it's time, man.
He was
It's been time. Yeah, I was gonna say you don't want Jason Witten to get Brett Favre. You don't want Drew Brees to get Brett Favre. Love Brett Favre, nothing but respect for him. But yeah, some players just stay past their time, and Drew Brees has stayed past his time. It's good. It's time.
Yeah, because I can't.
Shout out to my wife for sending me that information as we record.
Oh,
Nice.
really?
Let's
Because
go.
I got a notification on my phone, and it wasn't from her.
Same
I got
here.
it too, but it didn't go off.
don't
I
have
wouldn't
a
have
phone.
looked if you didn't say anything. I'll say that.
Damn, that's
I wouldn't
a
have
really
looked if
big
she
one to
wouldn't.
talk about. I want to talk about Anthony Sherman, and then you just throw a big one, probably the biggest one on this whole retirement list, right in my face, Ben.
Hey man, it happened 5 minutes ago.
Hey, let's
I
hop
won.
over.
We've been
let's-
recording for almost an hour, and it
You're
happened
a-
5 minutes ago.
You're a
Yeah,
leapfrog,
I
one of the
would've
best quarterbacks we've ever seen.
All right,
Yeah, it's one of the best quarterbacks.
but how
we've ever
much is
seen.
there to
Cool.
talk about with fullbacks realistically?
No, there's not that much to talk about with
Right,
fullbacks
so
honorable mention
because
at
that
the end.
awesome honorable mention. Anthony Sherman. Shout out to Anthony Sherman. I bet you can box jump higher than Ben and Marquise Pouncey.
I want to
Well,
throw out two more honorable mentions before we deep dive into Drew Brees. Matt Schaub, let's go, and Patrick DeMarco, another fullback that I love.
Patrick
Prosper.
Domingo. Domingo?
Marco.
No,
Matt-
DeMarco.
Really?
Mike
DeMarco, yeah.
Nice.
I don't remember. I can't pronounce his last name
That's
either.
horrible with names.
Matt, we're not.
Potty.
EU potty, bro.
Matt.
EU potty is Russell Wilson is like, oh,
Oh,
wow,
man.
thanks.
Oh,
I had all the only
I
good
have
offensive
one.
linemen
I
that I
have
had.
one.
They retired and got released. The Seahawks were just like, you know
We're
what?
using
Let's just-
running backs at the rest of my offensive line positions.
Well,
And
they
you
could just-
retire.
better than using running back,
Mike
Gabe.
Holbrook.
If you want to ask about, see, there you go, Ben. Ben's on board. You want to ask about what there is to talk about with fullbacks? They would be better offensive linemen than running backs. Okay, so if you just get a bunch of fullbacks on your team,
All right,
have Anthony Sherman block Myles Garrett, we're good.
Drew
How about-
Brees. We're
Well,
on.
Vance
Drew
McDonald
Brees.
also retired.
Yeah,
That's an
I
honorable
saw that.
mention. And Stephen
Vance
House.
McDonald retired. Why is that an honorable mention?
Oh, well, Ben, he was
Uh,
at the
is he
Steelers for a
retiring
pretty long
young?
time.
Oh yeah,
He was-
retiring.
he
early
was
pretty
on,
young.
but he finished his career strong.
He did
Yeah.
finish
Like,
strong.
he's not
I
gonna
mean,
go anywhere. Not gonna be like anything big.
Put
But
a
I
lot
enjoyed
of
watching
fantasy
the end
team.
of his career.
I liked him under Vernon Davis with the Niners. I did like him there. That was good. But yeah, okay.
He finished
Honorable
his career
mention.
fun. It was a fun.
Honorable mention. We
Anyways,
will honor
we're
you.
gonna
Drew
run out of time.
Brees.
We got to talk about Drew Brees right
Deep
now.
dive.
We got to talk about Drew Brees.
5 minutes ago, just announced he's retiring from the NFL after 20 years.
First,
Yes.
first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes, it is
Easy
time.
peasy.
Class
Yes, he's
act
first
guy.
ballot.
Drew Brees
Is he-
really has never done anything that has made like people mad at him. I feel like. I feel like I'm okay. Well, let's
Up
We'll
to
skim
this
over
last
that.
year.
We'll skim.
It was a rough year for my man.
Something flew over my head. I don't know what it was, but we're not going to turn around and look at it. And it's what you just brought up. So, anyway, pretty class act guy. No, like first ballot Hall of Famer. I am glad to see him retire because watching his last game, I can't watch him lose another playoff game.
Dude,
it was so sad.
It's so
It really
sad.
was. And nobody in
It
the
was
stadium
disappointing.
either. It hurt.
He keeps losing them, and he is losing them, and that's the sad thing. So yes,
Give some
It's
credit to
great.
Sean Payton too.
yeah, Sean Payton.
Well, Payton helps lose them, definitely.
I don't know.
Just
Yeah,
timeout management.
well, yeah, his timeout management is terrible. But yeah, if you look at the last 3 playoff losses, man, you can tell that. I mean, Drew Brees definitely, like, sure, officiating isn't perfect, isn't fair, whatever you want to say. But in the clutch time situations, Brees is definitely past his time, and he's past the clutch time situations. And not to say he's not one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen touch a
Yeah, like
football in
top
the
5.
NFL. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, he's past his time, man. He needs to ride off into the sunset. Nothing but respect for that man, and
he's-
I'm glad to see him go before it got
He's a
upset.
great guy.
Doesn't he already have like a 5-year deal signed for commentating? Like, yeah,
Yes.
the man's set.
Yeah.
Oh my
And also,
Yeah.
I bet he's going to be a great
Right.
commentator.
I was
He'd be
gonna
a
say, he's
great
like a Tony
commentator,
Romo.
man.
I want
Yeah.
maybe not as funny as Tony Romo, but
I
Business.
also don't know if anyone is as intelligent as Tony Romo. Even I don't think there's been a
but I
commentator.
feel
as
like Drew
intelligent
Brees
as
will
Tony
be
Romo.
like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
No,
He'll
he
be nothing
finished
but
his
business.
career
He'll be
with
very-
a 68% completion rate.
Hey, he'll be very Troy Aikman,
That's
in
great.
my opinion, man. Just that
Yeah.
classy dude up there.
Yeah,
I feel
agree with
that.
It'll be fun. People like to listen to Drew Brees. He's a good guy. He's
I'm going to
Calm
like
to
to
me.
listen to Drew Brees.
yeah.
Well,
Nobody
Brees-
I
wanted
to
to.
see his face, you know? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, glad you're still around, you know? man?
Nobody wanted to listen to Peyton Manning or like to see his face. They just like to see him play. You know, Drew Brees, he'll be good as a
I
commentator.
don't know
Peyton
what
Manning,
you're talking
True.
about. Papa John's commercials with Peyton Manning are the best.
No, it's an insurance
The
commercial.
Allstate,
yeah,
State.
yeah.
Brad
No,
Paisley?
no, it's-
Peyton
that's
Manning.
nationwide.
Yeah, it's
That's
nationwide.
nationwide.
Shit, my bad, you know.
No, Peyton Manning is he's hilarious. Which is why it would be hilarious if he was a commentator. But Drew Brees is nothing but business. He'll be a good commentator.
It'll be a
and
great commentator.
It'll be
fun to
He'll
us.
be a great commentator. I'm ready
I
for
think him
that,
and Tony Romo doing one together would be quite enjoyable.
dude.
I'm sure they'll be
what?
hitting us up to come on the podcast soon. So, yeah, you know.
I don't.
Big moves.
I don't think I could commentate with Tony Romo, man. One, I'd feel like a lower class human being. I feel like he's smarter than me, and two,
He is
I wouldn't be able to
smarter
stop I wouldn't be able to stop laughing the whole time.
He's smarter than you.
Everything he
No.
said, I'd be like,
Probably slamming some tequila shots up there.
dude,
No,
I
man,
would
I think I
drink.
could-
I would drink with Tony Romo.
I think I could hang
Oh
with
yeah,
Tony.
I would drink with Tony Romo. I don't think
I
I
would
could
literally-
commentate with him.
I'd just let him lead the commentating, and every once in a while, I'll just be like, yeah, Tony, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, Gabe's just trying to sound smart. Tony Romo's like, watch this. It's a pitch left, and Gabe's
I
like,
bet it is.
you know what? I bet you it is too.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I agree.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can tell.
I agree.
I can
Absolutely.
tell that Tony
About to
Romo's
say that.
right.
I was gonna say. I think I was stealing it.
Yeah, you can see.
I feel like I was
you can
feeling
tell
it before.
the guard is leaning to the left. You know, he's right about to pull.
Just start putting Tony in his place. I bet you it's a pitch left. Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I wanted you to feel like you had some confidence. You know.
Oh, man, I'm
Why
about
you
to
just-
sneeze.
Nice.
I said sneeze while I sneezed. That was
I-
pretty cool.
I thought you were going a completely different direction with "I'm about to," and I was like, "About to what?" I thought we were talking about as if you were talking to Tony
Sneeze.
Romo, and then you sneezed
Yes, I sneezed. Yeah.
right to the mic.
Well, I tried to cover, but I covered the mic as well, so it didn't work. Yeah, you know, happens to the best of us.
Yeah, boy.
All right,
Dude,
That
y'all want
about
the
wraps
stats
it
real
up.
quick? Y'all want the stats on Drew Brees before
read
we
them
wrap
out.
this?
I
Yeah,
know
Let's
that.
throw some Drew Brees stats. We know they're incredible. Let's go.
68% completion rating, over 80,000 yards, 571 touchdowns.
Yeah.
How about some of them records?
Yeah, I was gonna say set his
Those are
records.
all
'Cause he's
records.
I was gonna say he's number one.
Those
Yeah,
are all
he's one of
records.
the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. The record that he doesn't have, is the
Super Bowls.
rings.
Well, you know what's funny about that though is if Tom Brady does stay, I'm pretty sure he's like right behind Drew Brees.
He's
for those
right
records,
behind
and
Drew
he's
Brees
gonna
on
pass
those
him up
records.
next
He'll
year.
take them. Right. But
Tom Brady is gonna solidify himself as the best. There you go. I can't even say anything more than that. Just the best. That's it. And it's wild. But
Drew Brees, you're like
right now,
there, you're like right there.
Drew is retiring on top, and that's the way to do it.
Go get
That's
your golden
facts.
jacket.
That's what it is. Drew
Retire on
doesn't wanna
top.
get passed up while he's
Drew
playing.
is retiring on top, man. First ballot Hall of Famer. We'll see Drew Brees in the Hall of Fame 5 years from now.
that's serious.
Gonna happen.
And we'll see you next week.
Follow that Twitter and the Instagram. I don't think we have a Facebook or anything, but Snapchat.
Snapchat.
What do we know?
Yeah,
do we
let's
know?
do it.
What do
Let's
we
do it.
know?
You can follow our
Same on
YouTube,
all of them.
Spotify, like and
Subscribe.
subscribe to
Hit the
everything.
like and
Follow.
subscribe. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Goodbye.
Bye from What Do We Know?
What do we know?